My wife said she needed a break from our marriage. I respected it until I found out she'd moved in with her friend from work. But that wasn't the worst part. The real betrayal came when I discovered why she wanted our daughter to stay with me full time. Story begins below. I, 38M, have been married to my wife Kelly, 36F, for 12 years. We met in college, got married a few years later, and now we have an 8-year-old daughter named Emma. Things were never perfect, but I thought we were solid. We both work full time. I'm in IT, she works in marketing at a mid sized company. We split household chores fairly, or so I thought. Over the last year, though, she seemed distant, less affectionate, more distracted. I chalked it up to burnout or stress. One night about 6 months ago, Kelly sat me down and said she needed space, that she was feeling lost in the role of a wife and mother and needed time to figure things out. I was blindsided. I asked if there was someone else. She said no. She asked if I could move into the guest room for a while, just until she could get clarity. I didn't want to lose her, so I agreed. A week later, she said she'd be staying with a friend for a while. She packed a few bags and left, but still came by every day to see Emma, who stayed with me full time. She said she didn't want to disrupt her routine. At first, I respected her honesty. Maybe we did need a reset, but something felt off. She rarely answered my calls. When she did, it was short, clipped responses. She stopped staying for dinner after seeing Emma. She avoided eye contact. The whole vibe was cold. So I got curious. One night after she picked up Emma for ice cream, I checked her iPad that was still linked to her texts and emails. I hadn't touched it in months. I knew it was wrong, but my gut screamed something was off. And it was. I found dozens of messages between her and a coworker. Jake, flirty at first, then explicit, then full-on conversations about moving in together once the dust settles. They'd been together for at least 4 months, which meant they started while we were still sharing a bed. Worse, she had moved in with him, not just staying over, fully living there. But what broke me? A message from her to him that said, "At least I got primary custody of the freedom. He's stuck playing single dad." That's when everything changed. I didn't confront her immediately. I needed a plan. I kept acting like I didn't know, smiled when she came by, kept routines normal for Emma's sake. Then I got a lawyer. We filed for separation. I documented everything, the texts, emails, timestamps, Emma's schedule, all of it. My lawyer said I had a strong case for full custody. When I finally told Kelly I wanted a formal custody agreement, she looked shocked. "But we've been co-parenting fine," she said. I handed her copies of the messages. She went pale. She tried to talk her way out of it, claimed I was invading her privacy, said the texts were taken out of context. I didn't say a word, just handed her the draft from my lawyer requesting full custody. She didn't fight it. Emma's with me full-time now, officially. Kelly still visits, but the spark she once had, the confident, dominant version of herself, she leaves that at Jake's place. When she sees Emma now, she's quiet, nervous, like she knows what she lost. Jake, apparently he didn't sign up to be a full-time stepdad. I overheard Emma asking why he never came with her mom anymore. It's been 2 months since the custody order went through. Kelly still hasn't filed for divorce. I haven't either. I'm not sure if it's because we're both stuck in limbo or because I'm waiting to feel something, anything about her again. But I don't. I feel calm. And that scares me. Things slowly settled into a new rhythm. Mornings were just Emma and me. I'd make her breakfast. She liked her eggs scrambled, toast with a little cinnamon sugar. We'd talk about school, cartoons, and her drawings. I dropped her off, went to work, picked her up, did dinner, homework, bedtime. There was a strange peace in the routine. I wasn't constantly checking my phone, wondering if Kelly was okay or if I'd done something wrong again. She started showing up less and less. At first, it was 2 or 3 visits a week, then once a week. Now, maybe once every 10 days. And they weren't long visits either, just an hour, 2 at most. Emma started asking questions. Not dramatic ones, just quiet things like, "Why doesn't mommy live with us anymore?" Or, "Why doesn't mommy stay for dinner?" I didn't know what to say. I kept it neutral. "She's got her own place now, but she loves you very much." Kelly, to her credit, never badmouthed me. But I could tell she didn't know how to connect with Emma anymore. She missed school events, forgot which days Emma had her after-school art class. It wasn't malicious. She just didn't know anymore. One Saturday, Emma came back from a visit looking upset. She was quiet all evening, wouldn't say what happened. At bedtime, she finally said it. Mommy cried when I asked why Jake doesn't live there anymore. I blinked. I hadn't heard anything about them breaking up. Turns out they split. He moved out. A friend of mine who works in the same building as Kelly said they barely talk anymore. I didn't feel smug about it. I just felt empty. I think she expected him to become her next chapter. But when you start a relationship on broken ground, it doesn't take long to collapse. A few weeks later, Kelly asked to meet in person without Emma. We sat at a coffee shop. She looked tired, worn out in a way I hadn't seen before. I made a huge mistake, she said. I didn't say anything, just let her talk. I thought I wanted freedom. I thought Jake was something different, but it was all just noise. You were stable, kind, patient, and I threw that away. It felt like I should have been waiting for this moment, dreaming of it, but I wasn't. She looked at me like she wanted some kind of redemption, a spark, maybe even hope. But all I could say was, I'm doing okay now. Emma is, she nodded, bit her lip, tried not to cry. I miss you, I nodded, I understand. And that was it. No dramatic reunion, no screaming, no second chances, just reality. Since then, we've kept things formal. No fights, but no closeness either. We talk when it's about Emma. That's it. The trust is gone, and honestly, I think the love is too. Months passed. Emma turned 7 in January. We threw her a party in the backyard. Just a few classmates, some decorations, and a homemade cake she helped me bake. She wanted a space theme, so we made little rocket cupcakes and put up stars made of foil. Kelly was there. She came, brought a gift, smiled for the pictures. But she didn't stay long. Afterward, Emma asked, "Why did Mommy leave before cake?" I didn't know what to say. Again, she had something to do, I told her. It wasn't a lie, just not the full truth. I later found out Kelly had left to meet a friend, possibly a date, from a hiking group she joined. She posted about it that night, her smiling, wine glass in hand, captioned, "New chapter, new peace." I didn't feel angry, just quietly disappointed. Not in her anymore, in myself, for expecting more from someone who kept proving who she was. But here's the part I didn't expect. I stopped thinking about her. I stopped checking her socials, stopped wondering if she'd show up with another apology. The pain dulled into something else. Not bitterness, just a tired kind of peace. I focused more on work. I started jogging in the evenings, sometimes with Emma on her little scooter beside me. She began drawing more. One night she showed me a crayon sketch of 3 people, a man, a girl, and a dog. "That's us," she said, pointing to the man and the girl. "And that's the dog I want." I laughed. "We'll talk about the dog." But something about it got me thinking. We'd been in survival mode for a while, but now we were ready to live again. I signed her up for art classes. I took a few days off just for the 2 of us, a weekend trip to a nearby lake, just fishing and board games, and I finally started talking to someone. Her name's Jenna. We met at a bookstore. Yeah, cliche, I know. She asked for a recommendation on mystery novels, and I happened to have an opinion. It was slow, no rushing, no pretending, just honest conversations, laughter, a real connection. I didn't introduce her to Emma right away, but when I finally did, it felt natural. Jenna didn't try to be fun mom or take over. She just listened to Emma, talked with her about books and painting, and let her set the pace. It was the first time in a long time I felt safe with someone again. Kelly hasn't said much about Jenna. She knows. Emma mentioned her once, and Kelly went quiet, then changed the subject. She still sees Emma twice a month now. That's all she asks for. She says she's working on herself. I hope that's true. For Emma's sake, I do. But as for me, I'm moving forward. Not because of revenge, not because I want her to feel bad, just because I owe it to myself and to my daughter. About 2 months after Emma met Jenna, something shifted. Emma asked if Jenna could come to her school art show. She helped me with the idea, she said. She should see it. I hesitated. Not because I didn't want Jenna there. She'd been amazing. But I knew Kelly would be at the show too. And sure enough, when we walked in, Kelly was already there, standing near Emma's easel. She turned around and saw Jenna next to me, holding Emma's hand, and I saw her smile falter just slightly. Jenna, being Jenna, smiled and said, "Hi, I'm Jenna. It's nice to meet you." Kelly shook her hand, smiled back, and said, "Likewise." But I know her. That smile was fake. She didn't cause a scene. She didn't say anything negative. But for the rest of the show, she was distant with Emma. Short responses. Quiet. When the event ended and I was buckling Emma into the car, Kelly pulled me aside. "She's not her mother," she said. I met her eyes. "No one said she was. You replaced me. No. You walked out. There's a difference." She didn't respond. She just turned and walked away. That night, Emma didn't ask about her mom. She talked about how her painting got a little blue ribbon, how one of her friends had a glitter explosion on their project, and how Jenna promised to take her to an art museum soon. It hit me then. This is our life now. A little messy, a little complicated, but real. And honestly, better than anything I imagined back when I was trying to fix things with Kelly. A week later, I got a message from Kelly. "I'm thinking of moving to another state, starting over. Can we talk?" I didn't reply right away. I talked to my brother, a couple of friends, and Jenna too. Then I called her. We talked for nearly 2 hours, and in the end, I told her, "If this is what's best for you, go. But Emma stays. Her life is here. Her school, her friends, her stability." Kelly cried, but she agreed. She moved a month later. Now her visits are video calls, scheduled, sometimes missed. But I don't push. I document moments. I keep Emma in the loop. I answer her questions honestly, gently. I don't speak badly about Kelly, not ever. But I don't lie for her either. Emma's doing great. So am I. One morning, Emma came downstairs holding an old photo. It was of her, Kelly, and me, taken years ago, back when things looked perfect from the outside. She sat across from me at the kitchen table and asked, "Was Mommy always sad back then?" That question stopped me cold. I looked at her, really looked. She wasn't just curious. She was trying to understand her place in all of this. "She had a lot on her mind," I said carefully. "Sometimes people carry things inside they don't talk about. But it wasn't your fault. Ever." Emma nodded slowly, like she understood more than she should. "Jenna says people leave sometimes, but love can stay in different ways." That nearly broke me. I reached across the table and took her hand. "You are loved in every way by so many people." That night, after she went to bed, I sat on the couch with Jenna and told her what Emma said. Jenna just squeezed my hand and didn't speak for a long time. Then she said, "We need to make sure she never doubts that again." Over the next few weeks, we started a new weekend tradition, something we called Sunday Circles. Emma would draw a memory, we'd talk about it, and write a little journal entry together. Sometimes it was something small, like making pancakes. Other times it was deep, like the first time she met Jenna, or the last time she saw her mom in person. Emma was processing everything in her own way, and I was quietly amazed by her strength. Meanwhile, I got a message from Kelly's sister, Rachel. "Hey, I know we haven't talked much, but Kelly mentioned she's not doing too well. I think you should know." She didn't elaborate, and I didn't push. I thanked her, and I waited. A week later, Kelly called. Out of the blue, I picked up. Her voice was shaky. "I'm in therapy," she said. "I'm trying." There was silence for a few seconds. Then she added, "I want to visit, not to confuse Emma, just to show her I'm trying too." I didn't say yes right away, but I didn't say no either. That night, I asked Emma what she would think about seeing her mom again. She was quiet. Then she said, "Can Jenna come too?" I said, "Of course." So we planned a visit, just lunch in the park. Neutral place. Jenna, me, Kelly, and Emma. It was surreal. Kelly looked different, tired but calmer. She brought Emma a sketchbook with her name on it. Emma said thank you and hugged her, but stuck close to Jenna the whole time. It was awkward, but it didn't fall apart. Later that day, Emma asked if her mom was staying. I told her no, just visiting. That seemed to be enough. I don't know what Kelly's future role will be, but I know Emma's going to be okay because she's surrounded by love, and that's the one thing I can control. We don't have all the answers yet, and maybe we never will. But every Sunday morning, when Emma sets out her journal and Jenna flips pancakes nearby, I realize something simple. This strange, rebuilt, imperfect life is enough. And for now, that's all we need.